Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Howerton. Joining me today at Money 2020 Asia in Singapore is Michelle Evans, the head of digital consumer research at Euromonitor. Thanks for joining us today, Michelle.
Thank you for the invitation.
So in a recent study by McKinsey, APAC will account for more than 50% of global payments over the next 5 years. So tell us a little bit about what's behind that stat that you've seen.
Yeah, I think that's very much driven by what we might call the Asian century, the idea of just the number of consumers, the population that's expanding, as well as the rise of the middle class. That's certainly a big driver of all this as well.
So let's talk about social commerce for a little bit. We've seen, the rise of apps like WeChat, Alipay, Facebook Messenger has moved into P2P in some regions. We have Venmo in the US. So what are some of those social commerce trends that you think will happen in 2018 for APAC?
Yeah, I think APAC is definitely very different than the rest of the world in terms of how they've embraced social commerce. So consumers in Asia take a very pragmatic approach to time spent online. So when those apps came to be, they were more proactive with working with brands and retailers, integrating those experiences in the apps to reach those consumers, to influence those consumers. So that has been a big driver thus far. I think moving forward, it's very much about the super apps, this do everything mobile app. They might be lifestyle driven, whether it's a messaging app, maybe it's the ride sharing apps. But many of them are adding additional functionality to kind of service all aspects of life.
So you recently wrote an article for Forbes about the 5 commerce trends for 2018 and how retailers are really going to be leveraging that big data to create those personal, Instagrammable experiences. So tell us a little bit more about those trends.
Yeah, so that was one that we called data as the new currency. And the idea with that is that we're seeing consumption commerce sort of shift from this idea of being about the masses to being a story of one. So I think it was eBay's CEO last year, he said at Shop Talk, that conference that's in the US, he said we have to create a unique experience for each of our consumers 167 million times over, and that's their number of users. So when you think about that, doing so is going to require technology such as artificial intelligence. There's no way to create that amount of those unique experiences that many times over using humans. That's where the computers come into play.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the mobile wallet trends you think that we're going to see in APAC specifically in 2018 moving forward.
Mobile is obviously very key in this region. So there's a few things that we see playing out. First is this idea of just mobile commerce in general. So if we look at our data, 2015 was the first time we saw Chinese consumers spend more on their mobile device than their computer. We've seen other Asian nations follow suit, as opposed to developed markets are going to be still about 3 to 5 years out on that trend. A big thing is, like I mentioned, the super apps. That's certainly very prominent, and we're seeing that obviously pick up steam. And I'd say the third one is this idea of mobile wallets going global. So you have the WeChats, the Alipays, they're certainly looking to follow, in the case of WeChat, the idea of this Chinese consumer going abroad or an expat. Alipay is another example, and I know they do partner with players like yourself to make that possible.
So what do you think of Money 2020 Asia this year?
It's wonderful. Great to be at the launch event.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always great talking with you.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.